This comes as quite a shock to absolutely no one. Why do I say that? Because it's a Marvel film, and all Marvel movies, well, I would say a vast majority of them, gross $1 billion by the end of their theatrical run. There were some exceptions, like the Marvels, which lost 70 million, which is a huge thing for Marvel. That was a surprise to me for Marvel. I would say an action film in general, but especially Marvel. So we already know who the cast members are. You already know Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman play the title characters. Of course, you had appearances by Emma Corrin, or is it Corinne? I'll go with Corrin for now. Daphne Keane, some cameos, others, Brianna Hildebrand, Wesley Snipes, Matthew McFadden. Of course, Marina Baccarin was still Vanessa. You had Jennifer Garner, Blake Lively, Leslie Uggams, and about 1,000 other people whose names I don't feel like going through right now. You know what I find surprising? Rotten Tomatoes has only given this movie a 78%. Now, I know Rotten Tomatoes is tough, but that's low for a Marvel movie. But, hey, 2 weeks, $1 billion? Come on now. Internet Movie Database, they're a little bit more reasonable. 81%. Metacritic, 56%. Ooh, wow. Google users, okay, well, Common Sense Media, 80%, and then the Google users is 88 to 95%. But we know that those numbers are going to change by the end of the theatrical run, which I estimate is going to be about 6 months. So if this came out in July, it'll be running to the end of the year. It's Marvel. I'm pretty sure they're going to have this movie in theaters even after they release it on Disney Plus and make it available to buy and rent on YouTube and Amazon, because it's just that popular. It's just that it. Anything Marvel, except for the Marvels, is going to be overwhelmingly popular. And my safe bet is that I'm already declaring it right now. This is the highest grossing movie for this year. I don't care what comes out in the next, what are we in August now? So September, October, November. I don't care what comes out in the next 4 months. Highest grossing movie this year. This is actually, I would like to think of as a correct prediction, unlike my prediction from 2023. I think you all know what that was. I think you all know what that was about. Deadpool's peaceful existence comes crashing down when the Time Variance Authority recruits him to help safeguard the multiverse. He soon unites with his would-be pal Wolverine to complete the mission and save his world from an existential threat. Now, I'm curious to know, what are some of the one-stars saying about this? I guarantee you it's going to be something that probably doesn't make much sense. One person right here gave it a 1-star. They said, Marvel ended with Avengers Endgame. Seriously, they're doing anything they want without logic. I thought only Bollywood producers make sequels just in fame of first ones to earn money, nothing else. First, give proper burial to a character and make one emotional. Okay, that's good. Everything has an end. Le Marvel. Oh no, now we have to bring X-Men back. How can we? By showing he is immortal. Oh no, let's bring him from another universe. Then there's endless possibilities. Make thousands of movies every year. Thanos back from another universe. Do whatever you want because your blind followers will eat anything you serve. Well, okay, so here's the thing. So I'll tell you this right now. I'm not even like the biggest Marvel fan. Nowhere near it. But I can take that and I could say that there might be a hint of truth to that, because I would say, I've always been the person to say that no matter what you do with movies, when you have a movie franchise and you have a bunch of movies within it, let's say there's at least 4 movies. The problem is you can't please everybody. So if you do, let's say 5 movies of something, whether it be 5 Avengers movies, and even if you go outside of Marvel and DC, like if you go outside the superhero realm and you talk about other movies, comedy, horror, action, whatever. You got a bunch of Fast and Furious movies. You got a bunch of Mission Impossible movies. And you got 3 Taken movies, Jason Bourne movies. You're always going to have that group of people that say, well, they're running out of ideas and now they're just doing anything and it's getting old and boring and stale. So they should have stopped at the 2nd or 3rd one. But then The problem is with a lot of movies, when they do the same thing, a lot of the same people will sit there and say, well, they need to try something different, try a different scope and go. And then they go back right back to square one. So is it true that no matter where these movies go, you're always going to have a group of hardcore supporters that are going to watch the movies no matter what? Of course. And as I've said before, and I'll proudly admit this, that even though I wasn't interested in it till last year, I know a little bit of embarrassment on my part, I love all the Fast and Furious movies. I would say 3 was my least favorite, but I would watch it again, just not as much as the others. When you look at the first Fast movie and look at the last one, I would say look at the first 2 and then look at the last 2. Yeah, it seems like it's 2 completely different things. But you know what? I still love them, and I'm going to go to the theaters to go see them. And I'm going to purchase them digitally on YouTube. So, I mean, looking at it from, I know this is very odd for me to say, and hardly anybody has ever heard me say this, but when you look at it from, let's say, the business perspective and the financial perspective, these movies are grossing all this money for a reason. All these movies are grossing hundreds and hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, for a reason. People go see the movie, they like it, they give good reviews, and the people who make the movies, they're like, okay, this one was a success, let's do another one, because they'll watch that. Oh, they like this one. I mean, that's just what it is. Now, do a lot of people outgrow these movies, or they get tired of them, or they start to dislike them because they change too much stuff? Yeah, that's also pretty true. So, but again, I'm not trashing this person's opinion, because at the end of the day, it's just an opinion. We all have our own. So, I mean, what can you say to that? What are you going to do? Now, right now, Marvel has 35 movies, and they have an additional, I think, about 15 of them that are in various stages of development. So by the time they get done, Marvel will have had 50 movies. Now, again, there's a difference between 50 movies that are in one movie genre. So it's not like we have 50 Avengers movies or 50 Iron Man movies, but all of the movies that are within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, between the Hulk movies, the Iron Man movies, the Thor movies, the Captain America movies, all that stuff. Captain Marvel, and even with the DC stuff, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all that, there's a lot of them within it, and guess what? This stuff has been going on for a long time, and it's going to go on for a long time, and I'm willing to bet a lot of these movies are going to go on even after we're gone, because they're just Marvel and they're just DC, and they're going to succeed. One person here says, this movie was an eagerly anticipated showdown that promised an exhilarating clash between 2 of Marvel's most beloved anti-heroes. Unfortunately, it fails to live up to the hype, leaving fans with more frustration than satisfaction. I guess that all depends on who you ask. Now, I'm not a deep thinker when it comes to this stuff because, again, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. So don't really listen to me or don't take my word for it. But, again, depends on who you ask. So overall, this movie, with it being a Marvel movie, it had overall a significantly greater number of positive reviews than it did negative. Now, as far as what I would rate the movie, I feel I can give it a good, I think about 8. It probably deserves it. I'll probably give it that. Combined with, and to be fair, to be honest with you, another thing I have to admit, a little bit embarrassing, but I didn't start watching the Deadpool movies until this year. And I looked at it and I said, oh, this is different. It's an R-rated Marvel movie, heavy, strong language, lots of, sexual references, and just this guy with his personality and the way that he acts. I'm like, he's different. The stuff that he says, it's like you're not going to hear this from Batman or Superman or anybody else within the Marvel and or DC universes. It's not going to. So I think I see what they were trying to do. They're like, hey, let's make this an action comedy, a little bit of drama in it. And guess what? It works. And it still grossed $1 billion in 2 weeks. So who are we to sit there and tell them that they don't know what they're doing? So they got it, and we have no part to it. We just watch it. We either pay to go see it in theaters or wait till they release it on streaming. In this case, Disney+. So overall, I think the movie was good. So I have a lot more movies and shows to talk about, as you know that's all I do, really, is just do these videos where I run my mouth about my opinions on movies and shows and games and celebrities and many other things. And I have a lot more Marvel movies coming. I'm thinking about doing a Marvel marathon and just starting from like the Hulk, watch the Hulk and rewatch the Iron Man movies. I got to catch up on the Captain America movies and catch up, like rewatch the first Thor and catch up on the rest of them and all that stuff. So help me out. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, give me your thoughts. And I'll see you soon. Stay tuned.